In some Native American cultures, a dreamcatcher is a handmade object based on a willow hoop, on which is woven a loose net or web. The dreamcatcher is then decorated with sacred items such as feathers and beads. It originated with the Ojibwe people and was later adopted by some neighboring nations through intermarriage and trade. It wasn't until the Pan-Indian movement of the 1960s and 1970s, that they were adopted by Native Americans of a number of different nations. Some consider the dreamcatcher a symbol of unity among the various Indian nations, and a general symbol of identification with Native American or First Nations cultures. However, many other Native Americans have come to see dreamcatchers as over-commercialized, offensively misappropriated and misused by non-natives. The Ojibwe people have an ancient legend about the origin of the dreamcatcher. Storytellers speak of the spider woman, known as asabikeshiinh. She took care of the children and the people on the land. Eventually, the Ojibwe nation spread to the corners of North America and it became difficult for asabikeshiinh to reach all the children. So the mothers and grandmothers would weave magical webs for the children, using willow hoops and sinew, or cordage made from plants. The dreamcatchers would filter out all bad dreams and only allow good thoughts to enter our mind. Once the sun rises, all bad dreams just disappear. American ethnographer Frances Densmore writes in her book Chippewa Customs. Even infants were provided with protective charms. Examples of these are the spiderwebs hung on the hoop of a cradle board. These articles consisted of wooden hoops about 3 or 1/2 inches in diameter filled with an imitation of a spider's web made of fine yarn, usually dyed red. In old times this netting was made of nettle fiber. 2 spiderwebs were usually hung on the hoop, and it was said that they caught any harm that might be in the air as a spider's web catches and holds whatever comes in contact with it. Traditionally, the Ojibwe construct dreamcatchers by tying sinew strands in a web around a small round or tear-shaped frame of willow. The resulting dreamcatcher, hung above the bed, is used as a charm to protect sleeping people, usually children, from nightmares. The Ojibwe believe that a dreamcatcher changes a person's dreams. According to Conrad J. Kowalski, only good dreams would be allowed to filter through for bad dreams would stay in the net, disappearing with the light of day. Good dreams would pass through and slide down the feathers to the sleeper. Another explanation of Lakota origin, nightmares pass through the holes and out of the window. The good dreams are trapped in the web, and then slide down the feathers to the sleeping person. Dreamcatcher parts. When dreamcatchers were originally made, the Ojibwe people used willow hoops and sinew or cordage made from plants. The shape of the dreamcatcher is a circle because it represents how gazes the sun, moon, month travel each day across the sky. There is meaning to every part of the dreamcatcher from the hoop to the beads embedded in the webbing. Popularization. In the course of becoming popular outside of the Ojibwe nation, and then outside of the Pan-Indian communities, various types of dreamcatchers, many of which bear little resemblance to the traditional styles, are now made, exhibited, and sold by New Age groups and individuals. According to Philip Jenkins, this is considered by many traditional native peoples and their supporters to be an undesirable form of cultural appropriation. The official portrait of Ralph Klein, former premier of the Canadian province of Alberta and whose wife Colleen Klein is copyrightless, incorporates a dreamcatcher. The idea of a dreamcatcher was used by Margaret Salinger, daughter of J.D. Salinger, in her book of memoirs about her father, Dreamcatcher, a memoir. See also, God's Eye, references. External links, The Indian Arts and Crafts Act of 1990.